Hi everyone, my name is Katie. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking all about my November TBR. So if you've been around my channel, you know that TBRs are something that I struggle with. I don't know why. I love putting together a TBR. I love kind of having like a rough list to just pick and grab from throughout the month, but I am a mood reader at heart, and so I tend to deviate from whatever plan I set. I do want to preface though and say that not only am I planning to read these books, whatever they are that is on my TBR, but I am also hoping to participate in Bucket Listathon. I'm going to leave it linked in the description below. It just seems so fun, and I'm really looking forward to kind of like having a more chillaxed and relaxed approach to November. I feel like I have been really all over the place and very, very busy in the book world, which is like amazing, and I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful, but I really appreciate the slower seasons and just being able to kind of like relax and feel a little bit more peace, if that makes sense. And I think Bucket Listathon is really going to be a good companion for this month, if that makes sense. So that is something I'm going to be participating in. If you are participating in any kind of readathon or reading challenge in the month of November, let me know in the comments below. In case you missed it, I did create a little TBR game for my channel, which I think is really going to help just make things fun and exciting. I've only done it once on my channel because then I was a little bit busy with different readathons and things like that, but we are bringing it back. It is called TBR Tarot, and I have these little cards, and I have quite a few of them. I have this whole container full. I have these as well, and I have more that I haven't cut out. And I have blank canvases that I can always add more. So like the sky is a limit. So how this is going to work is I am going to pull 10 cards from my TBR tarot cards, and we're gonna pick some books. So the first one we have is a book with a character who is a chef or a cook. I decided to pick In Good Company. I've actually started this book before, I think for a readathon. I set it down, I didn't pick it back up, but I think this is gonna be a quick and easy read. I was really liking the chemistry so far in what I had read, so I am looking forward to picking this back up. This is my probably smut special edition, and I think it is so cute. But it's just one of those things where anytime I have, especially like a special edition, I really wanna try and read it. If I don't enjoy it, then I try to gift it to some friends and things like that because it's a collector's item, and I don't need it to just sit on my shelf. So it's time to read it, figure out whether or not it is a hit or whether or not it needs a new home. Then we have a book that involves a curse or a prophecy. For this book, I decided to choose Terror at the Gates. This is going to be the Torture Readers Book Club book pick for November, so it just fits. I don't know if it genuinely has a curse or a prophecy, but based on the back, I'm gonna assume that there is. It says, "Beware she who bleeds, bound in chains. Beware the exile, the young winged beast who dances unafraid before fire. Beware the woman with many names, the maiden, the," not a very nice word, "the scarlet serpent. Beware the temptress who whispers in the dark. She is the beginning and the end. She is peace and chaos. She is terror knocking at the gates." So I'm going to assume that's a prophecy. We're going to wing it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So now we're going to switch, and we're going to go to this other pile. We're going to use this one. I just cut both of these out last night and a little bit this morning while I was watching some YouTube. Okay, this one is so easy. A book written by an author from your country. I picked Good Spirits by B.K. Borison. I am so unbelievably excited for this book, okay? I had access to an early listening copy. However, I didn't vibe with one of the narrators, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna get a physical book, and I'm gonna read it with my eyes, and I just know I'm gonna eat this story up. I just genuinely am so excited. I love magical realism stories, the kind that just are completely unbelievable, but I wish could be real. So for this one, we are following Harriet, and she gets visited by the ghost of Christmas Past, Nolan. And his job is genuinely, you know exactly what's gonna happen. His job is he visits these people and he's like, hey, get your life together. Stop being an awful person, do better. But Harriet's like, what are you talking about? I'm a people pleaser. I literally always do whatever makes other people happy. That is my life's work. So they're trying to navigate like, okay, why was he sent to her? What's happening? So they're going to fall in love, right? Right. How does that happen? How does that work? How do you fall in love with a ghost? I don't know the answers, but we're going to find out. Ooh, this one's a little tougher. A book with a character who is a journalist. I don't know. Nothing comes to mind, so we're going to have to think on that one. I am choosing Is She Really Going Out With Him, which is a book that my friend Sarah sent to me for my birthday, and I'm so excited to finally pick this up. I don't know what this is about, but I love that it says, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days meets He's Just Not That Into You. I love both of those films. Say less. Yes, immediately, absolutely. Oh, okay. Oh, whoa. I just read the blurb. This is actually so interesting. So Anna is going through a messy divorce, okay? She has sworn off men. She's fine. She's got 2 kids. She's got a cat, and she loves that she gets to completely control the TV remote. Like, she does not have to ask for permission for basically anything. She's loving the single life. She's loving it. She decides to pitch this idea to her bosses because she works for a column all about her going on 7 dates, and all of these dates are chosen by her children. What could go wrong? Truly, what could go wrong? I think this is going to be a fun time. Okay, we're reading Romantasy. That's happening this month. So we have a book set in a fictional kingdom or empire. I suppose technically it doesn't have to be Romantasy. It could be like a royal romance. That's fair. But my brain immediately goes Romantasy. I'm making an executive decision to tweak this prompt. I know it is supposed to be a book set in a fictional kingdom or empire. I am going to just say in a fictional world. How about a fictional institute? Because those happen to be my favorite. So we're going to be reading Deathbringer. So in this book, we're following Viola, and she is somebody who can speak to the dead, which I think is so cool. She doesn't, okay? It's kind of ruining her life, actually. So she's going to this institute, and she's hoping to get some answers before it's too late. There, she actually runs into Silas. I cannot wait to learn more about this man, okay? He is a poison mage, and basically, he despises everything that Viola is because Viola is considered a death mage. That's what she's considered. He hates nothing more than death mages. So naturally, they're going to be drawn to each other in some way, shape, or form. I hope it is like the slowest of slow burns. And I am really, really excited to learn more about this magic because apparently the poison mage, they get magic from 3 magical snakes. I don't like snakes, but I'm curious about this. And I just also think the cover is so pretty. So I'm putting it on the TBR. It doesn't technically fit, but I think it's close enough that we can count it. And it's my game. All right, so I'm going to pull some from out of here. I don't remember how to open this. Ooh, a book that revolves around a family secret. I really do enjoy a book that has good family dynamics. So I'm curious which one I'm going to be able to pick for this one. I'm going to be picking up The World's Greatest Detective and Her Just Okay Assistant. And in this one, the reason I am counting it is because we were following The World's Greatest Detective, her assistant, as they try to figure out what happened to this family. There is a murder or a instance that happens where it says, on the night of her 65th birthday party, Victoria Summersworth somehow fell to her death over the balcony railing on the rocky shore of Vermont's Lake Champlain. She was a happy woman, rich, beloved, in love, and the matriarch of the Summerworth family. The police ruled her death accidental, but Victoria's daughter, Haley, thinks it was murder. So basically, we're going to uncover that this family has a ton of secrets. So it's not the main character's family, but I mean, it is going to be a good chunk of the plot. So I feel like this is going to be so fun. It's also, in my opinion, very different than normal books that I pick up. So I'm curious to see what I think. A book that includes an element of weather. I decided to go with Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal by Megan Quinn because obviously it is a Christmas romance, which means snow, so it counts. I also think the host for Pro's Book Club is doing this in November. I hope it's November and not December. I should have checked. This is a continuation of How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. They are interconnected standalone, so you don't have to read them in order, but like obviously it's recommended. I don't really know much about this book other than it's following Max and Betty. It does say nothing says I love you like trespassing, public humiliation, and a town-wide Christmas spectacle to win your crush back. So that's all I know going in. A book with a character who can manipulate elements. I am going with Ravenminder. Does this have a character who can manipulate elements? I actually don't know. I actually have no idea. I believe so. I think so. The internet told me so, so I'm going to believe them. I really kind of want to go into this blind. Again, it follows a very similar romantasy formula where they are not supposed to like each other. They're supposed to be complete enemies, but they will find a mutual connection, something that they come together on that will be beneficial, and they're going to have to work together. To what capacity, I have no idea, but I am just so excited. I think the cover is stunning. This girl seems to have been going through it, okay? She's technically paying off the debt of her uncle who rescued her after her parents were killed by shadow wolves. So like there's going to be a lot to learn in this story. Love triangle? There is a love triangle. Hold on. It says, well, Ezer, I'm pretty sure that's how you say her name, forges an unbreakable bond with the Raffin. Don't know what that is. Her heart becomes torn between the loyal knight and the mysterious prince, but as her dreams take on new clarity, she finds herself faced with a choice and a question. Has the darkness been her destiny all along? I need to know more information. I need, how long until November? Because what do you mean? There is a lot. There is a lot to unpack. Yeah, I want to dive into this. I want to read this immediately. So for our final two, we're going to pick some new cards. A book with a title that starts with the letter S. I am terrified. I am absolutely terrified because for the book that starts with the letter S, I am going to be reading Say You Swear. It is time. I can't believe it. It is happening. Most of you have probably already read this. I have not. I think it's because I'm scared. So many people talk about this book. So many people love this book. It makes me nervous. Okay? What do I know? Football. I do know, I think, a spoiler point in this story, so I'm not going to say that out loud because that would be so mean to other people. I do believe it's also a love triangle if you squint. I have no idea. But it says, for years I dreamed of what college life could bring. And while some things changed, there was always one constant. It didn't matter how wild I allowed my imagination to run. It always led me to the same place in the end. It led me to him. My future was clear and he was it until suddenly he wasn't. Now I'm a shell of who I was on a path too blurry to follow and I see no way out, no way up. They say first loves last forever. That's exactly what I'm afraid of. What does that mean? I don't know. I also love that a lot of my books that I picked kind of are in the same color scheme. I love it. And for our final book on our TBR this month, we have a book with a character who is a teacher or a mentor. I am going with The Examiner. Bet you didn't see this coming. Neither did I. But I think it sounds very, very intriguing, very full of shenanigans, very rich in characters. And why not? Why not? I like all those things. So it says, can you pass the test? University Professor G must make her new master's program in multimedia art succeed. If it doesn't, then Royal Hastings University will cut her funding and she'll be out of a job. Unfortunately, the 6 students she selects aren't making it easy. The students include a talented young sculptor who is determined to graduate with top grades, a former gallery owner with limited artistic skills, a single mother who's more interested in a paycheck than homework, a people pleaser who struggles with technology, a marketing executive suffering from burnout, and a successful artist who seems rather overqualified for the program. Not to mention, when Examiner arrives to grade the student's final project, he becomes convinced that someone in the class is in mortal danger or already dead. So there's a lot going on, but there's a teacher and it counts. I also think it's just going to be a lot of fun. Really, this story seems like it's going to be very, very character driven. So as long as I love the characters, I'll be invested and we'll have a good time. Okay, it's only 10 books, so I should be able to hold this up. But the fear I have, the fear. Okay. Oh my gosh, do I even lift?